Hey, good day, everybody. This is Paul Romero with the Swiss Gold Global Independent Business Owner Network Marketing Training number 164 today. Yes, number 164 today. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay, yeah, number 164 today. And I'm a little out of sorts here today, but it is Freedom Friday, so that's okay. Freedom Friday on July, what is this, the 24th? July 24th, 2015. And I just want to say welcome to all of you. I was just kind of looking back at my notes. This is Freedom Friday, so as you know, it's Hawaiian Shirt Day. I got to show you guys. It's because you're not seeing all of it there. But as you see, every Friday I am in the Hawaiian shirt mode because it is Freedom Friday, and I want to feel like these shirts make me feel like I have freedom. And there's a reason behind that. And the reason is, I may have told the story before, but when I was 1 year out of high school, I moved to Hawaii with a friend of mine. I was planning on doing something after high school. I didn't do anything. I didn't go directly to college. After high school, I basically screwed around for a year, but I was planning on doing something. And at the time, my sort of idea was I wanted to see things and experience life and get out there and experience people and whatnot, because I was kind of a shy person, and my objective was to kind of throw myself into the world and see what happened. And so my idea was buying a four-wheel drive van that was a van conversion camper van that I could live in, so I could be cheap. At the time, I could have picked one up for somewhere around $1,500, and four-wheel drive was because I was figuring on being off the road and by myself and in the wilderness and whatnot, as much as I possibly could. And my friend at the time was working in a ski shop, and he met this gal from Hawaii, and she had extended an invitation. They had hung out for a while, and she had extended an invitation that if he was to come over to Hawaii, she lives in a big house and there's plenty of room, and she could put him up, and even if he came with a friend, she could put him up for a week or two to have a place to land, so to speak, and get your feet on the ground and figure out what's going on and where you can get a place to live and all that sort of stuff. And so he extended that invitation out to my group of friends, and I thought, you know what, Hawaii sounds really awesome. And so instead of so I abandoned my plan for the van and the U.S. Continental U.S. travel, and hopped on a plane with my friend, and we flew to Hawaii. Unbeknownst to us, that the drinking age in Hawaii was 18 at the time. And we had just turned, let's see, I guess actually I had just turned 19, and Dave was already 19. So here we are on the flight to Hawaii, being offered alcoholic beverages, beers, which, hey, nothing we weren't already used to doing. Being at that age, we were definitely into the sort of party scene and hanging out with all the people. That was a big thing back then. Almost every weekend there was a party somewhere at somebody's house whose parents were out of town, et cetera, and so on. And that's kind of what we did. So we flew to Hawaii. We stayed 3 days on Oahu. And then we flew over to the Big Island, which was where the gal Marina lived. That was our destination going in, because we knew we had this, sort of landing post to get our feet on the ground. And so I don't know if you've ever been to the Big Island of Hawaii, and it's probably changed by now. But at the time, in 1979, the airport was in the middle of a huge lava flow, and it was nothing but black lava and ocean. I mean, the lava looked like it went all the way up the mountain. I mean, it looked like, where are we? We landed on freaking Mars here. And so, I mean, you literally couldn't see anything. Off in the distance, obviously, you could see the greenery and stuff, but where we were, it's like, how far is that? And so we had landed with, each of us had one backpack and one suitcase. That was it. And we called up, got on the phone to call this gal Marina, and the person who answered the phone says she doesn't live here anymore. and asking if they knew where she was, like, no, I have no idea where she went. So there went our plan. And so we called up an airport service, and the guy came out and picked us up in a van, and drove us into town to the west side of the Big Island, to Kailua Kona, and which is because that's where the airport where we land at, and so he drove us into town, got beyond the lava flow, and started seeing the beauty that is Hawaii. And so he drove us around a little bit and took us to these apartment complexes and said, this is probably where you guys might be able to find a place to live and whatnot. We were telling him our story, and he helped us out a lot. But of course, we landed, unbeknownst to us, on one of the biggest holiday weekends in Hawaii, which is the canoe races. So lots of things were booked up, everything was closed, et cetera, and so on. Nobody was at the, actually, I think we did get somebody to answer the door at the manager's unit, but they were off at the canoe races, so we couldn't talk to anybody. We ended up getting a motel room for one night because that's all they had. They were booked up the next 2 nights. And so we got that, and the next morning we called up and rented some mopeds and zipped around all over the place wherever we could to find ourselves another place to stay, which we did a little bit farther out of town in another little motel, which was nice because it was right on the ocean. And so we packed up our stuff and headed down there with our backpacks on our backs, on our mopeds, and our suitcase in our hand, and putted on over to there. Got settled in. We ended up having to stay there for about a month, 3.5 weeks, just because once we started to work on getting our place at the apartment complex, they wanted some credit checks and some letters of reference and all these things that we had to get, delivered from the mainland, which we didn't have. We didn't think of any of that stuff. We were 19-year-old idiots. So we were working, we were hanging out for about 2 weeks and realizing, we're running out of money here because we didn't have much money going in. I came over with $1,600, and I think David had like $2,000. So we didn't have a lot of money at the time. So we finally realized, we need to get some jobs here, or we're not going to be able to get an apartment, and we're going to be living on the streets. So we went and got some dishwashing jobs at a pizza place, and we're able to maintain our current net worth, our current wealth. We were able to maintain that until we were able to get settled in with an apartment, and we continued working at the pizza place. It was a good job. We enjoyed it. It was fun because we got to smoke dope at work and drink beers afterwards, and that's what we were all about at the time. Not afraid to say it, but obviously different now. But anyway, not long after we got settled in and all of that, one of the first things that I was shopping around for was some clothes, some shorts and shirts, because what we had brought from the mountains of California to Hawaii didn't quite all fit in all that well, So went down and went into a Hawaiian shirt store, and I bought my first Hawaiian shirt, which I actually still have today. So I think I've told the story, and I'm going to show you guys that Hawaiian shirt in a few weeks when I get home, and because I don't have it here where I'm at in Phoenix. But yeah, so just that feeling, that shirt, being in Hawaii, that was a real feeling of freedom for me. 19 years old. Of course, I wasn't living at home from the time of about 17 3/4. I was pretty much living on my own at home, but being in a whole different environment, on an island in the Pacific Ocean, 3,000 miles away from everything, it was a real sort of a feeling of freedom and something that I really enjoyed. And that shirt sort of represented that to me. And so it still does to this day, as I said, which is why Freedom Friday is indeed Hawaiian Shirt Day. So I just wanted to throw that story out there real quick. And I wanted to look back here to see what we were talking about. Oh yeah, 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 some cool stuff. Another thing I wanted to throw out there is, we talk a lot about the mindset, how you think about things, gaining education. It's uh, it's a big statistic that in America, hardly anybody reads anymore. The number of people who never read a single book after high school, after graduating high school, or dropping out, or whatever it is that they do to get out of high school, the number of people that never read a book beyond that time is a staggering number in the United States. And even the people that go to college, the number of people that never read a book after they graduate college or drop out or whatever it is that they do, that never read a book again in their lifetime is another, I mean, quite staggering number. And it's something that I was definitely a member of those statistics up until fairly recently. After high school, I can say that I probably read after high school and junior college. I did go after I came back from Hawaii. I went to junior college for a couple of years. Did not graduate because I never finished anything after high school. Um, but for many years, let me rephrase that. For many years, I never finished anything after high school. But yeah, I read two books after high school, both Robert Ludlum spy novels, very good, entertaining books, not very educational books, which is a big difference. And that's something that we don't get really educated on, I guess is a good word for it. We don't really get educated upon the fact of how important education is, and just continuing to learn and grow and expand our minds. And so everything that we learn at a young age, all the way up to, 18 in high school, possibly 25 or whatever it is in college, it's like we think that everything that we learn there, that's it. That's all I need. I got it all and I don't need any more. Now I know everything I need to know and off I go into life to make my way. And the problem is what we get taught doesn't give us the power and the knowledge that we need to really become successful out in life. And so what happens obviously is after all this time and all this education, all this knowledge, all this information, I wouldn't even call it knowledge really, all this information that we've stuffed into our minds, we take that out into the workplace and we get ourselves a job, and anywhere from a dishwashing job to a good job, considering an attorney, an accountant, a lawyer, or whatever. But here again, we don't really learn about ourselves. We don't really learn about the laws of nature. We don't really learn about how things really work. We don't really learn about, what it is that we really think. And we just accept everything that we gained at one time to be knowledge as the truth and the facts. And that's how it is. And we get really, really strong-minded and closed-minded, quite honestly, to new ideas and new opportunity because, hey, we already learned all that stuff. That's nothing new to me. And, if it is something new, it's probably stupid. So it's very important to keep an open mind moving forward in your life. And I think I'm a living example that you can live with a closed mind for any duration of time, but you can choose at any point in time to open that mind up. Now, obviously, the longer you keep that steel door trap shut, the harder it's going to get open because it's kind of getting a little rusty and whatnot, and you're struggling to get that door. So in order to open your mind in the first place is not easy to do. Now once you get that door to start creaking open and start letting in some of the good information, it's like dripping oil onto those hinges, and the door starts getting a little easier and a little easier to open. and allowing more and more information to come in. And you will be surprised, no matter what age you are, quite honestly, I think I was exposed to this stuff a little bit when I was in Hawaii, quite honestly. At the age of 19 to 21, but a little bit before 21, I was there a little bit less than 2 years. Um, so during that 2 year period, like I said, I was just partying, running around. Literally, honestly, all we ever did was smoke pot, drink beer, go to the beach, and do some other things around the island. Go see everything that there was to see and do, on the entire island, which is kind of why I left. I pretty much kind of seen and did everything there was to do 2 or 3 times. So went back to the mainland. But anyway, in my travels over there, because I think maybe at that time anyway, I haven't been there since, because I made myself a promise when I left I would never come back until I could spend no less than 30 days, because I'd seen all the people that come over for anywhere from 3 to 10, 15-day vacations, and they're just getting into it and they got to go. So I always said, you know what, if I come back here for a vacation, 30 days is the minimum, and I haven't been able to do that yet. So that's coming up. It's on my list. But anyway, where was I with that? There was, at the time, there I think was a lot more spiritual and holistic people, in a very small area on the island of Hawaii than you would run into, in the mainland of America, because whatever reason why, maybe that's where they migrated to. I don't know, but so I was exposed to this stuff at a young age, and everything from like numerology, obviously, astrology was big at the time. Just some different concepts, like the concept of tithing and giving, giving away 10% of your earnings, karma, all these sorts of, I guess, I don't know, you might call them metaphysical concepts and principles. And they all sort of made sense to me. And I sort of kind of applied a little bit of them here and there, but I never stuck with anything, of course, because I already graduated high school and I knew all there was to know. So I never stuck with anything. But after I left and went back to the mainland, obviously I got back into mainstream America and all of that. And, again, being in the mindset of I've been there and done all that and learned all that. I did go back to college, like I said, for a year and a half, and did gain some more information into my mind, which I wasn't really focused on that much. It was still all about the party and having fun, which that carried through into my life for the next 25 years until I was about 45. And at that point in time, I sort of started getting the idea of, hey, wait a second. I'm getting older and I got nothing. I'm working paycheck to paycheck. I got no savings. I got I got nothing here. I got to do something to start changing that. And where did my mind go? Well, I guess maybe some of that stuff did stick in, because I didn't really think about, okay, I have to get a second job to do something here. I thought about, you know what, I need to kind of find some kind of a business. I guess the second job was sort of there because I was looking for something that I could do online as an employee type of thing. But I was also looking at some of the online sort of, do your own businesses things, like, owning a online pharmacy, or this business of critiquing places, that they would hire you to come in and be like an undercover, somebody that comes in as a regular client, so to speak, but you're actually, checking the place out and reporting to them. I looked at a roof replacement system, a couple things like that. So I was looking at some business ideas and things like that. And I wasn't doing more than looking at them. I was spending money and trying them, but that was the key word right there, is I was trying. I wasn't doing. I wasn't applying myself. I had no clue about any of that stuff, about being really serious about, if you really want something, you got to be all in on it. But so through that, I ended up getting married, bought a house, built up a lot of debt, and then the crash happened. And I think in the crash is when I got my kind of defining moment, because we were about to lose everything after the crash. And, after what's going on here, and just like sitting back going, well, something's got to happen here. I finally one day woke up and was like, I got to make something happen here. And so I started going towards the real estate thing, and back in the direction where I was going a few years earlier, which transformed me into, well, actually, it was actually the losing of my house, actually, that got me thrown into that, which got me into the kind of the real estate thing. And that transpired into me being here now in Phoenix, Arizona, running a real estate business. But it really wasn't until after the first year of me being here in Phoenix that I ran into my mentor, Jeff Fagin, who has really honored me today by inviting me to host his weekly meeting next Tuesday morning, which I attend regularly. But it wasn't until meeting him and starting really gaining the knowledge of what it takes up here to be successful that I actually started to become successful. And I just wanted to throw that out there, because it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, how closed-minded you might be, what books you've ever read or never read. All you have to do is open your mind. All you have to do is make a decision to say, hey, I want something better. I want something more. And I'm willing to take the time to think about what I think about and how I think about things, and go out there and make it happen. So with that, I'm already a couple minutes over here, and I'm going to have to cut this short. But I just want to say that wealthhealth.swissquoglobal.com, what we have here provides you with a powerful education system that can really help you get the oil on those rusty door hinges and get that thing open quicker, so you can be successful quicker, so you can actually start living life again and achieve, the goals and dreams that you had of yesteryear. They can still be alive. They can still be resurrected. They haven't died. They might be on their deathbed right now, but they haven't died yet. And, we can breathe new life back into them. So with that, everybody, O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire. Everybody make it a great Freedom Friday. Enjoy your climax. That's the final 2 days of the strong session. Your pinnacle, your celebration, however you want to look at it. There's no reason to end 5 days of hard work with a weekend. Have a climax, have a celebration, reach a pinnacle, do something good, exciting, and powerful. And we'll see you back here on New Op Day to begin a new strong